Welcome to No Scrub Scrub Club, NSSC. A little TLC inspired, a little medicine inspired, and a whole lot of inspiration from dope people doing dope things.
I actually wanted to ask a follow-up question because
Please.
immigration is obviously it's always a huge issue in America, and it's always going to be a huge issue as we speak about like the Ukraine, Russia conflict,
Mhm.
and even like Black people in Europe,
Yes.
Caribbean immigration. So can you talk a little bit about what was the hardest part about moving from Guyana to the United States for you growing up in Brooklyn?
Okay. Um, I'll do two things. So one, you mentioned immigration. I mean,
Mhm.
love that topic for so many reasons. In short, I'll put it this way, and some people might give a pause, but truly think about it. Um, America needs immigrants. I think immigrants are the best thing that has happened to the United States. And I'm not talking about from, because a lot of people make this argument about labor force, and they always operationalize immigration and explain immigration from the standpoint of economic growth and mobility. Those are solid points. I'll take another fruit. I'll take another perspective. uh, Immigrants bring another way of life. They bring another way of viewing and doing things. Um, and of course, amazing food. We can't say too much so without going down food and music. Even take Brooklyn, for example. Brooklyn's heartbeat and its rhythm is found in immigrants. You can literally, on a summer day, if you take time and you walk through Brooklyn on a summer day, you'll know exactly what neighborhood you're in based on the music, based on the vibe. And you'll know who inhabits that area and who does not inhabit that area. So there are numerous reasons why immigration is a positive thing. I always say that America is the melting pot, caveat that has not been stirred. And in
Mhm.
some places, when that pot is stirred, you get a good flavor of not even a good flavor, you get an appreciation for the value that immigrants add. Now, to the second question that you ask about sort of biggest lessons, or even sort of my perspective on transitioning from Guyana to the United States, for me, it was an inward journey. And it was an inward journey towards self. And what I mean by that is when at age 12, which is a sort of a year and a time in your life of growth and learning, you're changing, excuse me, your body's growing, your mind is growing as well. And when you come out of your context where I knew Guyana, but not all of Guyana. I knew Georgetown specifically because that's where I grew up. And I had my ways and norms, and even a life path ahead of me. So I knew what I was going to do for school. I knew what that led to. I saw where family members had taken certain paths and where that had led. So I had examples around me. And now you come to the United States and you still have those examples, but the level of adjustment. So food, right? Good Lord, seasons. Seasons took me out. Seasons, because I call, and to this day I call anytime the weather gets cold, it's winter for me. Americans have this really developed way of appreciating autumn and fall. It's stop the madness. It's winter. It's cold. Even the trees are stripping down and they're getting ready for battle. It's winter. So just transitioning and appreciating and getting to know the nuances, both macro nuances and micro nuances, and in terms of the differences between the countries, was edifying for me. But the biggest thing that I walked away with was resilience. I learned that in my first winter. I learned that in the difference in our living accommodation between Guyana and moving in with my grandparents. We had a 1 bedroom, and it was 7 of us So let me just make sure my math is right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it was 7 of us.
Had to count everybody.
Yes, I'm a qualitative researcher, so I always fall back on that when I have moments with numbers. But that's where the resilience came from. When you transition to a country, you're adjusting, and it's 7 of you in a 1-bedroom apartment. You get to learn a lot about yourself. You get to learn a lot about family and the resilience that is family and the strength that is family. So those are some things that I walked away with easily in my first year. That wasn't lost on me. When I got here, I said, okay, Kevin, this is going to be an uphill climb, but you have support in family, you have support in community.